Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome will.i.am, founder and CEO, iamplus.
Oh, wow. Walking out to the Rolling Stones. The reason why I picked that song, because I thought it would have been kind of whack if I just walked out to a Black Eyed Peas song. And I picked the Rolling Stones' Start Me Up on purpose, because I remember when I just first got started dreaming, rocking and recording and collaborating with the Rolling Stones was like an impossible feat. There's no way that could happen, especially you being in the projects with a single parent, poor as hell, working with Michael Jackson, U2, and the Rolling Stones is something you don't even dream about doing. But that's the power of dreams, is that you could have those wild dreams. And if you figure out a way to turn those dreams into reality, there's a force that comes with that. And that was a play on Dreamforce, for those that didn't realize that. But it truly is, a miracle to be here at Dreamforce with the team that I have put together with my co-founder, Chandra, because it all started off with a dream to do something different and create something and ignore the giants. Because people tell you, oh, there's no way that you can do what you're doing. What about the giants? Right? I come from a place where Michael Jackson was a giant to me and ended up working with him. Mick Jagger was a giant and ended up working with him. Putting on Pioneer headphones was something that you didn't even dare to dream of. And then working with Jimmy and Dre with Beats, we became a giant. So you can have those wild dreams, and it's okay to dare, and it's okay to be fearless, as long as you surround yourself with an awesome team. So I take pride in the team that we have at iamplus. I have a new band, it's called iamplus. We have a new drummer who came from Salesforce. We have a new keyboardist who came from Amazon. We have a new guitarist who came from Google. We have a new pianist who came from Apple. There's 300 people at iamplus in 6 offices across the planet. Headquarters in LA. We acquired a company called Wink out of New York to help us understand the home. Wink is we like to say number 1. On number 2 to be number 1 for smart home hubs. We have an awesome team in Israel, awesome team in Bangalore, India, in Singapore, and China to help us build this Omega platform for enterprise. And before I go into detail and bring our team out, I want to show you a video. We showed it earlier yesterday, but for those that weren't there, we will show it again. Check out Omega in action.
Omega, could you please send Chris an updated forecast report?
Note has been sent.
So we'll need to get that out as soon as possible.
Okay, sounds good. Omega, how many rose gold units are in stock in the San Francisco Distro Center?
500 units are currently available.
Great, thanks, Omega. So, Chris, are we good with the 500, or do we need to add more units?
500 will be fine, thanks.
Chris has sent an urgent email asking when the shipment will be arriving. Shipment is due to arrive next day at 2 p.m. Would you like me to respond to Chris's email to give him this information?
Yes, please. Omega, can you set up a meeting with Duncan and Carly while I'm in Chicago?
For what day?
Wednesday.
For what time?
2 p.m.
Duncan and Carly have been invited to the meeting. By the way, be sure to pack an umbrella, as it will be raining that day.
Thanks, Omega. Also, can you look up the best deep dish pizza while I'm there?
Searching for places now.
So how we got here was we created a watch a couple of years ago And Salesforce was one of our first believers in what we were doing and early investors. And when we completed the project, Mark Benioff says, hey, Will, the product's not the hardware, the product's that software. Quickly, you guys should move to try to get that across as many hardware devices as possible. And we did just that, but did even more. And I'm gonna bring out the rest of our team to show you how our platform is built and how it could be used for you and you and you and your companies. You could use our platform for travel, finance, banking. You could use it for healthcare. You could use it for customer service. And we have our partners from Deutsche Telekom to come out to talk about how they're using our platform in Germany. With that, I would like to interview our platform. I want to introduce you to Omega. Hey, Omega.
Hello, Will. I'm great, thanks for asking.
How are you different from other AIs?
Well, unlike other AIs, I have a personality, which means I can have a real conversation with you, like I am now. I'm also contextual and proactive.
How is that possible?
Because I know you. It's the way I'm built. I am built to be conversational and contextual. I remember our interactions, which gives me the context about you, so I can anticipate what you'll want or need in the future.
Can you explain to the people what we're doing in enterprise and how DT is using our platform?
We're completing a rollout to DT customers in Austria. I now speak German there, go by the name Tinker, and help with DT customer service.
How many customers are interacting with you right now?
Thousands of customers every day and growing. I help customers with inquiries related to billing, product troubleshooting, and much more.
That's amazing. And there are a lot of incredible thinking and technology behind our Omega platform. And we'll be taking everyone through, how Omega's built, and we're gonna share with you, how we're using it for Deutsche Telekom shortly. But first, let me bring out, like I said, our new keyboardist and our new drummer, Matt from Amazon, who's now iamplus, and Chris from Salesforce, who is now at iamplus. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt and Chris.
Hi, everybody. Chris Small. Pleasure to be here on behalf of Matt and I. We couldn't be more excited than to help you be introduced today to Omega for the enterprise. The key for Omega is that, as you saw in the videos, it's very focused on this unique experience. Will talked earlier about the ideas that he had in his career about going after giants. And the giant idea here is to take technology and allow it to interact with you in a way that's the most effective, if not revolutionary, for customer experience. It has context, it has relevance, it has awareness. It becomes proactive in your life, if you will, moving forward that relationship. That is the essence in a very integrated and powerful way of what Omega delivers today. Now, when we talk about battling giants, I've done that before. And in fact, any number of years ago, I was invited to a conversation with Mark Benioff when he was launching this company, saying, hey, I've got this huge idea for a new concept called on-demand CRM. So I actually joined Salesforce in 2002, early on to lead the enterprise, mid-market, and strategic teams. And it was a bunch of big players we were going after. It was Siebel, it was SAP, it was every form of player. And in fact, this radical change in that delivery method changed the world. As we now know, we're here at Dreamforce 17, and I believe the same cornerstone of Omega about integrating these powerful, simple experiences is the next shift in really what I'll call the voice operating environment. So lots of great technology under that, driven by us and built by us. And in order to introduce you to that a little more deeply, Matt's going to walk you through the architecture.
Thanks, Chris. I'd like to obviously thank everyone for coming to the session today. It's obviously a fantastic opportunity for us to talk about how iamplus is a trailblazer in the voice and AI space. As Chris mentioned, and as Will mentioned, I actually joined iamplus recently from Amazon, where I spent almost 12 years as a solutions architect explaining the latest cutting edge voice, AI, and machine learning, and just web services technologies. My last stint with Amazon was really in the Alexa voice service team, where I actually worked on integrating voice into products. So it's a space that I'm in love with, that's very familiar, and I'm excited to talk about how Omega for the enterprise is actually changing how people think about that space. So to start with, before I get into how Omega, the architecture is different, let me talk about how it is similar. And there's a slide coming up in just a second, I swear. There it is. Boom. You excited? That was a big move there. That's not the whole slide. Don't worry. There's a build here. It's going to take time. Just be calm. Be patient. So to start with, let's talk about the basics. Anyone talking about voice and AI today has a foundational set of services or capability that are part of any voice AI platform. So the first is speech recognition, the ability for us to understand what you're saying in an audio stream and convert that to text. On the flip side of that is text-to-speech, how to convert the text that comes back as a response into an audio file. The middle is really where the magic happens, and that's what we call the Natural Language Understanding Core, NLU. And that's where Omega has built upon the latest in machine learning AI algorithms and platforms, and actually added our own proprietary capabilities to build a cutting-edge NLU platform. But we didn't stop there on the basics. We even added one more component, which is telephony. You saw in the video the ability for the saleswoman to be on the phone with Omega at the same time as her own colleague. So Omega can be on the line in a phone call directly, or also just as a third party in a conversation. So that really adds the capability. And that brings me to another important basic, which is how do you access the Omega platform? In order for this to be accessible, it has to be where your customers are. So you need access to voice, the ability to stream audio directly into the platform. Also phone calls. And then, of course, text, SMS, chatbots, email, as well as rich client experiences, such as adding video or text to that whole conversation to make a rich environment. So those are all things that you'd call the basics. Now let's talk about how Omega for the enterprise is actually different than what's out there today. The first layer is really our advanced components layer, and it really starts with that conversational logic layer. The ability to jump between different conversations and flow and interact with the domain the customer wants to talk about. As you saw in that video, the saleswoman was going from checking the inventory in her car for rose gold units, jumping right to making sure that's okay. Then in the office, she's the next conversation right into scheduling meetings, and then actually looking up deep dish pizza. This is how people actually communicate. They communicate in a way that is conversational and jumps between lots of areas of interaction. That's what AI has to deliver in order for it to truly be conversational and meet the customer where they're at, to answer their questions and answer their needs as you go along. And you'll see even in the Deutsche Telekom video later, jumping between customer service tasks, being billing, or looking up new phone upgrades. All in one conversation is totally possible with this conversational flow logic. You can also integrate chatbots as well. So even just simple conversations like, how are you? All those things can be tied into this one conversational engine. Omega also has an identity. She has an opinion. She has her own personality. So she can also suggest recommendations. She can scan wide swaths of content around the internet and with machine learning generate derived content, which are opinions that can be provided to your customers. So the ability to not only make this conversation about actions and interactions, but also even Omega being a guided partner along that path. On top of those advanced components, we then have added a layer of interaction capabilities that allow you to see more about how the platform works and to guide it yourself. So first is that learning portal, the ability for you to submit your own content, your own knowledge bases, and your own ideas into the platform and train Omega to speak like you want your customers to hear. So you could add your own corpus of information, your own corpus of terminology that would actually allow Omega to speak on your behalf and actually have a strong interaction that fits with your use case. On top of that, real-time analytics. As you saw in that video, the conversation goes from the home to the car, then to the office. But because it's all tied into one common platform, the ability for the enterprise to see all of those interactions in one consistent view, as well as trends, what's happening with the consumer, how their conversations are starting, ending, and evolving, gives you the business intelligence necessary to go ahead and evolve your interaction with that customer as well. Before I leave you, I want to actually start with leave you with the four key pillars that I think are important to think about when you look at the Omega for enterprise platform. The first is that conversation engine, really changing the game in terms of allowing your consumers to interact in a natural way that feels very human-like. The ability to actually have those conversations that fit what they're thinking right now and fit their actual mental conversational flow. But that only happens when you allow them to react and interact in a very natural way. So one of the big examples that you saw in that video, subtle, easy to miss, but remember when she said, book a meeting in Chicago. And then the next conversation was, hey, what's the weather there? Or deep dish pizza there? That was highlighting the fact that Omega listens and actually has context. Each interaction is added to a history. So now Omega knows when she says there, she's referring to Chicago. That's a very subtle but very powerful change in how voice interaction occurs. That context is critical to make sure that conversational flow feels natural and fits what your customer wants to say. Using he, she, it, they, them, their, even my, your own personal preferences can be embedded into that platform to allow that context and conversation to be flow smoothly across user interactions as people interact with Omega over time. And of course, Omega's also proactive. So she can reach out. You heard the email she was reading to the salesperson as she came into the office, letting her know, hey, you just got an email, something important, and using summarization techniques to make it poignant and fitting to that particular voice interaction. Followed by the, hey, by the way, don't forget to take an umbrella to Chicago, it's raining there. Omega's ability to actually reach out and recognize an opportunity to interact with the customer and provide them that detail is an incredibly powerful engine as well that takes that conversational element to the next level. And then last but not least, we recognize that the platform is only complete when we're able to add your custom domains, your capabilities as an enterprise. You have tons of data services, you have web applications, you have enterprise capabilities that you'd love to voiceify, for lack of a better term. You'd love to bring that interaction. And as you saw in that video, looking up your distribution center availability of rose gold units is something you can tie directly into the platform. So the ability via open webhook framework to tie in your own services and capabilities is critical as well. And of course, to fit the enterprise, you have to have flexibility of deployment and management. Omega is designed to sit on top of an open source containerization platform, which allows Omega to be in the cloud, in your data center, or any hybrid in between. So it allows you to deploy Omega where you are, where your data is, and where your customers are. Portability is critical for an enterprise deployment. And last but not least, data security. This is a critically important data. It's your customer data. It's really the crown jewels in many ways of your customer interactions. Being able to protect that data all the way from those clients to the back end and back again is part of that platform as well. And you can even apply your own compliance and data security standards on top of the architecture. But enough about me and about the architecture. Let's get on to how customers are using Omega in the enterprise today. I'd like to introduce to the stage Christian von Revidlo from Deutsche Telekom, the T-Mobile's parent company, to tell us more about how Omega is being used as Tinka.
Thank you. Thanks, Christian.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here and listening to how to apply this from the customer perspective. I'm Christian von Revenlow, came here from beautiful Bonn to San Francisco to share this story with you. What's one of the biggest challenges which you have as a large corporate? It's called customer experience. And how do you create a fantastic customer experience? And that is what Deutsche Telekom's story is jointly with will.i.am. And I think we have a little video which gives you a view how this looks like in practice, and then we'll dive in how this really worked. And off you go with the film.
Welcome to the most innovative virtual assistant in Europe. Please meet Tinka. Since Tinka was launched, she has become an integral part of the communication with our customers, day after day, around the clock, and can therefore handle most of the customer requests all by herself. By working cross-platform, Tinka is always looking for the best solution, incorporating all self-service options in her answers. Even difficult questions are handled in dialogue form and are, for instance, answered with a video tutorial. Even on Facebook, Tinka is able to make complex content easier to understand with the help of a chatbot, especially by using animations. Also in the mobile version, Tinka always offers several solutions, all the way to handing over the request to a service consultant. No matter what, platform change, video link, handover to live chat, or even crowdsourcing in the forum. It is Tinker's purpose to solve each and every customer concern on every platform at any time. Nobody does it better. Thank you, Tinker.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this was the live Tinker, which is running in Deutsche Telekom's Austria subsidiary. How did we get to this? First, we needed to get a large corporate ready to embrace new technology. I call this let's teach the elephant to dance. Can you imagine how this is if an elephant dances with new technology? So the initiation was quite fun with this, and I can share that in a separate session. Then we created a long list of potential suppliers, boiled it down to 18 suppliers, then to 12 suppliers, and will.i.am made it to the top of the list. Otherwise, you wouldn't find me here today. And then we embarked in the implementation process. From April, if we started in February, had the first release in April, and launched the whole thing. And what were the results? The results were first, Net Promoter Score of our web interface with chat was minus 36% before we started. And those of you who know what NPS is, it means 36% of people using it say it's... I'm not going to say the word because I'm teaching my kids not to use these words. And then after the first release, it went from minus 36% up to plus 17%, a 50% total swing in NPS, which is actually unheard of. This is really fantastic. And then in large corporates, you have these guys who look at the numbers. Some of them call them bean counters. And the bean counters figured out that the total cost of customer service went down by 7%, an enormous number for such a short period of time. And more fun, we actually learned that it impacted our call centers. And you wouldn't expect this. We went to the call center and found that our call center agent had set up their own private PC next to the call center PCs and used Tinker, the will.i.am powered chatbot, to get better answers to customer questions than our scripts. Isn't that an achievement? Isn't it? So all this is about using AI, and you will see more AI coming everywhere in large and small corporates. Not only in chatbots, in voice call centers, it will automate process and that alike. So I think, given that we are getting close to lunchtime, we should have a little look in the future. What's going to happen? And how will the future look like? And what does that mean for AI and what we are doing together with will.i.am? First, technology moves exponentially. You know what this means? Let me do 3 linear steps. 1, 2, 3. And the fourth, this is the fourth. However, technology actually moves exponentially, and now we do exponential steps. 1, 2, 3, and I'm not going to do the fourth. So the future, because then I go off stage. So AI will develop with this incredible speed and will impact all of us. And we asked the kids, how is the future going to look like? And they said, cell phones will go away and will be replaced with something like this here, a prototype. I show you the prototype. Here you go. And we have 3-dimensional objects floating everywhere, which will tell us about reality. We'll have voice in our ears telling us about reality, and all this will be powered by AI. The kids are saying, robots will be there serving us all over this planet, cleaning up, doing our homework. Drones will deliver. The kids are saying our environment will become intelligent. This is what the kids are saying in the age to 10 to 16. So all this being powered with AI, with technologies like this fantastic stuff which will.i.am and his team has developed. And with that, I think we are ready for a great future, and I'll ask Will to come back on stage and join me for the closing words. Will, thanks for the wonderful work your team has done. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
2 thumbs up. Can you do 2 thumbs up? Good, good, yes.
So I want to thank you so much for flying all the way to Bonn. I know that trip because a couple years ago we took that trip from LA to Bonn and had that meeting with the Deutsche Telekom team. and we showed them our Omega platform, and here we are at Dreamforce. It's live, and if this was just my music career, I would have been happy working with Kraftwerk. But if you guys know Kraftwerk, it's the German electronic group that pioneered electronic music and hip hop. But we're collaborating with the Germans in even a major way, so Deutsche Telekom took whatever that dream was I had in 1990 to 2017. And thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you. Now we are doing Kraftwerk squared, right?
Yes.
We are doubling it. We go exponentially.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank you.
With that, I just want to share the reason why. Like, why am I so passionate about tech to the point where I risked my whole entire music career? I haven't made music in a good, almost 7 years. We did Where's the Love last year, but that was just for, society and culture and reminding people the importance of tolerance and harmony and collaboration. But the reason why I'm doing all this is because, one, I'm inspired by the folks in our team. Our Israeli team inspires me beyond. Chandra, my co-founder, inspires me beyond, because I believe tech is a solution for inner city kids. If I'm telling kids, the 600 plus kids that I have in my after school program, to aim their interests and passion down a science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and robotics skill set, then I should do that with my life as well. I can't tell kids in inner cities that this is the way to change our community, and then I just go back on stage and grab a mic. I've done that for 20 years, from 20 to 40. Imagine things and turn dreams into reality in ways that I never thought would change my reality forever. Now I'm 40. And what am I doing when I'm 60? I'm doing this at 60. And we have an amazing team. We're gonna get old together. We're gonna do awesome stuff. We're gonna change the world together. And this collaboration with Deutsche Telekom puts a stamp and proves that. And our platform can not only, be great for us, it could help your company as well. And more importantly, success looks like kids in inner cities aiming down a path of intellect and solving tomorrow's problems. And that is the whole point of all of this. And that's the reason why I'm so honored to be here at Dreamforce, to be able to announce our partnership with Deutsche Telekom and announce our platform that you guys could, leverage and go to market with your products and services. So with that, once again, thank you.
Exactly. And if you... And if you want to hear a bit more about the practical experience, how this worked, or how the future looks like, and even more so, if you have an organization who needs to learn to dance like an elephant, I'll hang around here a little bit and you can walk up later and we can chat about it.
Awesome.
Awesome. Cool.
Cool. Pound it. So before we leave, I just want to, Omega has a couple of things to say. Omega, you still there?
Yes, Will. I am here.
What else is on schedule for today?
We have several meetings this afternoon at Dreamforce. And you have a reminder to let everyone know to go to www.iamplus.com/enterprise for more information.
All right, thanks, Omega, and thanks, everyone, for coming and checking out what we're up to. Thank you, Dreamforce. Peace out.